Today we'll be talking about factors influencing level of metabolites. Plant extracts are difficult to standardize because they contain hundreds of constituents in it, and the amount of these constituents, the metabolites, is not again constant. There are many factors which are affecting the level of these metabolites, and today we'll be talking about exogenous factors, outside factors, which are affecting the level of plant metabolites. So the first is geographical variation. Geographical variation is one of the important factors which affects the level of plant metabolites. We can take the example of Gingiber officinale. Gingiber officinale cultivated in India and cultivated in Sri Lanka. If we see, the content varies. More content of gingiberine is one of the constituents of Gingiber officinale. So more gingiberine was found in the plant cultivated in India than the Sri Lanka. Similarly, Myristica fragrans, nutmeg, it contained myristicin. More myristicin was found in the plant cultivated in India than the plant cultivated in Sri Lanka. So these countries are the Gingiber officinale, same species cultivated in both the countries, but the geographical variation affected it, and whereby there is change in the constituents of gingiberine and myristicin. Ammivisanga is another example we can take. If it is widely collected from the Mediterranean area, then it shows presence of coumarin. Whereas if it tried to cultivate this plant in Arizona region, then the seeds were devoid of coumarin. So widely, if you are collecting it from the Mediterranean part, it is showing presence of coumarin, whereas if you are cultivating in the Arizona part, it is not showing the presence of coumarin. Next example, we can take worm seed. This is American worm seed. Scientists tried to cultivate worm seed in Switzerland. This is basically from USA. They tried to cultivate this American worm seed in Switzerland, and they found that one of the constituents of this worm seed plant, that is ascaridol, was found 15 to 20% if it is cultivated in Switzerland, whereas if it is cultivated in the Maryland, USA, it showed presence of 60 to 80% of ascaridol. And it is not always true that if we change the habitat or the location, the constituents will decrease. There are some examples whereby where the contents are increased. We can take the example of digitalis. Digitalis is natively from Germany, and we tried to cultivate this digitalis in India. So the content of digitalis, that is digoxin, was found in the Indian variety than the variety which was cultivated at Germany. So increasing or decreasing effect can be there on the level of secondary metabolites by the geographical variation. Then the next come temperature. So plant need the optimum temperature. More temperature or the low temperature affects the level of secondary metabolites. For example, Kurchi. The optimum temperature for Kurchi is 25 degrees Celsius. So it is reported that if the Kurchi plant is cultivated at 25 degrees Celsius, then it will be containing the good amount of constituents. Similar example about the optimum temperature is Nicotiana rustica. It contains nicotine. So if this Nicotiana rustica cultivated at 20 degrees Celsius, it will be containing the good amount of nicotine. So this is the optimum temperature. There are some examples. If the temperature is low, then the contents are decreasing. For example, in case of Papaver somniferum, morphine content decreases, decreasing the temperature. So if the temperature goes up, morphine content will increase. So lower the temperature in case of Papaver somnifera, lower the morphine content. In case of Zea mays corn, one of the constituents of it, that is pelargonidine, increases with decreasing in temperature. Artemisinin, the content of Artemisia increases with decreasing in temperature. So temperature decreases, either it increases or decreases. The constituents increasing or decreasing, right? It depends upon the plant to plant. Then the next is altitude. Altitude is one of the factors which affects the level of secondary metabolites. For example, if the at high altitude, arnica, at high altitude, arnica shows more amount of phenolic contents. Similarly, Colus forcefully, that is Patthar Chur, it at high altitude, its constituent forskolin increases. And altitude is not only the one thing. Along with the altitude, there are many factors: presence of nitrogen, then the potassium, phosphorus, the ability of plant to absorb nutrition affects the they affect together. They affect the presence of or the formation of secondary metabolite in the plant. In pyrethrum, at high altitude, constituents are increasing. But if we take the example of peppermint, if the altitude increases, the content decreases. So peppermint need low altitude. At high altitude, it will not be showing the good amount of constituents. And not only the altitude, but latitude is also one of the factor which influence the level of metabolites or the nature of metabolites. For example, if the plant like palm cultivated in the tropical region, it will show presence of saturated fatty acids, and the plants which are grown in subtropical area, they'll be showing unsaturated fatty acids. So as a generally tropical plants showing the saturated fatty acids, and subtropical plants will be showing unsaturated fatty acids. Rainfall also affects the level of plant metabolites. Generally, what happens in rainfall? It wash out the constituents which are present in the plant. Generally, essential oil are lost by the rainfall. So if we take the example of some oils, so generally in the dry season, they will be showing the good amount of constituents than in the rainy seasons or rainfall. There are some reports of alkaloids in the in the rainfall. The alkaloids are less. For example, stramonium. Stramonium contain less alkaloid if it is rainfall, and in the dry season it will be showing the more alkaloid. Paste is one of the another factor which affects the level of secondary metabolites. Generally, this paste, they attack on the plant, and then plant is forced to produce some secondary metabolites, or some changes happen in the plant to protect the plant, and because of this the level of metabolite may change. The reports are there like henbane, it contain alkaloids, right? If the paste attack on the henbane, its alkaloid decreases. Henbane without paste and henbane with paste, it is reported that henbane which was affected by paste had less amount of alkaloid than the henbane which was not affected by paste. So these are some exogenous factors, and along with this there are other factors, but these are man made factor, we can say. If we are not taking care of the plant, then the level of the metabolites can reduce, or the metabolites can get degraded. So one such factor is collection. if the plant material is not collected properly, then the secondary metabolites can be affected. Some examples are here. First example is coriander. Coriander is the raw coriander and the ripe coriander. Means unripe coriander and ripe coriander, there is a difference in the chemical constituents. Generally, unripe coriander contains the aldehyde constituents, whereas ripe coriander contains the alcoholic constituents. So unripe coriander, if it is collected, it will be having a bug-like smell. It contains tridecanal constituents, whereas ripe coriander, it contains coriandrol, which is alcoholic constituent. So if a person collects coriander in the raw form, unripe form, then it will not be showing, it will not be containing the alcoholic constituents. And so ultimately the level of metabolites will not be there, or the level or the therapeutic activity or the actions what we want from the coriander, we will not be getting it. Clove, then the levant worm seed and the pyrethrum, they are generally in the bud form, flower bud. Clove is a flower bud. It's not the fully grown flower. More eugenol content are present in the bud form. If it is mature, the eugenol content decreases. And so collection is very important at this point. We have to collect in the bud form only. Levant worm seed, it contains santonin. If the flower head increases, then the santonin content decreases, right? So we have to collect it at the proper stage. Then the pyrethrum also collected in the flower bud. The flower bud contains the good amount of constituents than the flower. Then the American worm seed, it contains maximum amount of constituents at the pollination stage, right? So we have to collect it at the pollination stage. That time it will be containing more amount of constituents. Rhubarb is good in the spring season than the winter. The anthraquinone in rhubarb will be more in the spring than winter. So season is also affecting here. Then aconite. Again, aconite contains the maximum alkaloid in the winter than in the summer. See, in case of rhubarb, we saw in the spring it contained more anthraquinone, and in case of aconite, maximum alkaloid in the winter than summer, right? So seasons are affecting. From plant to plant, season matters a lot. Then age also affects the presence of secondary metabolites like camphor. Camphor accumulates the constituents, and the maximum constituents we can found at the age of 40. At 40 years, camphor shows maximum amount of constituents. Similarly, digitalis, like in the second year after cultivation, it shows the more amount of constituents. So age, season, day length, when you are collecting it, stages of the plant, when you are collecting the flower form or the bud form, it matters a lot. So properly we need to collect to get the good amount of secondary metabolites and the desired secondary metabolites. Along with this, drying also affects the presence of secondary metabolites or the degradation, because if the plant is not dried properly, then it will contain moisture, and moisture is present, then the moisture can cause biochemical reactions or the enzymatic reactions, and ultimately there will be, or some microorganisms can grow in presence of moisture, and ultimately it is going to affect the quality of secondary metabolite and deterioration may happen. Digitalis. It is said that digitalis should not contain more than 5% of moisture. If it contains more than 5% of moisture, then the constituents of it will get degraded by the enzymes which are present in digitalis. More than 5% of moisture, the enzymes get activated, which then causes the degradation of constituents. Squill contains silyrin A. In the presence of moisture, this silyrin A is converted into procilluridin A, and this procilluridin A is not active as of silyrin A, which is cardiotonic in nature. So silarin A. If it is converted into chlorosilaridine A in presence of moisture, then it will not be having the good cardiotonic activity. Sometimes this moisture is also helpful in the fermentation process, like vanilla bean. If vanilla bean is fermented, then it produces the vanillin. So that is a good. Uh, Means moisture presence, fermentation is carried out there in the vanilla bean, and vanillin is produced. So these are few examples. Then the opium is one of the example. In case of opium, uh, some enzymes are get activated uh, if the more moisture is present, and this can affect the morphine content. So opium is generally dried at 70 degrees Celsius to remove the moisture, and thereby the peroxidase enzyme which is present into it, it will not get activated, and whereby there will not be any degradation of morphine content. So this is all about the exogenous factors and the factors by the like collection and drying, the human errors, and they are affecting the presence of secondary metabolites. In the next lecture, we will be talking about the endogenous factors. Thank you.